All right. Hello and welcome everyone to the 2018 Monkey Island Open. We are in Emporia, Kansas at Peter Pan Park. My name is Anthony Vandenheuvel and I have with me the Putter Pants himself, Mr. Eric Oakley.
What up?
And we are going to be doing some coverage for the final round featuring Eric McCabe, that is Jake Lauber and Kyle Webster, as well as Robert McCall and Ben Wiggins. So we have 4 Dynamic Disc sponsored players and 1 Westside guy.
Hey, they're representing out there. It's a big deal for the trilogy companies to be seen and killing it.
So coming into the round, Eric has a 1-stroke lead over Jake and Kyle, and then 1 stroke behind them are Ben and Robert. Hole 2 plays 348 feet. It's a kind of a straight shot, but it's a little bit uphill. It's a little longer than the T sign says, I would think.
It truly is. As you can see people throwing big distance discs on this hole, and you have to contend with a low ceiling the whole way. And the wind was actually pushing pretty hard in our faces here, so this made this that much more difficult for the disc to not rise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Kyle throwing an Enforcer, I believe, and Eric McCabe threw a Ballista Pro, just to give you an idea what kind of distance these guys are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Normally on a 348, 350-foot hole, I feel like they'd be going more fairway drivers, but because of that uphill and the wind, they're definitely going distance driver. Jake just smashing, I believe it's a stiletto, just all of the power.
Yeah, that he tends to throw very hard, so we're going to see a lot of that. But it plays well out here. There's not a whole lot of danger. Whenever you need to slow down, you can. And Ben Wiggins, I played with him the first round. He threw this Ballista Pro on the same hole and started real hot and got this one. So we'll see if he can capitalize on that one.
Keep it going from round 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert, I believe this is a Biofusion Defender. So we'll see if you can kind of follow that line from Ben.
I think it's an Enforcer, actually.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
A little too much turn. Came up a little bit short, but he'll be able to get up and down.
Nice shot from Jake. Most of the holes out here, there's only a few spots where you can find some serious trouble, and in most cases, these holes you're just gonna take your pars if you don't have birdies and expect to pick some up later in the round.
Mm-hmm. And now Eric looks like he's not as far away as he actually is. When this putt comes out of his hand, it looked good, and he didn't even hit the lock.
No.
So he was a good bit short. He came up into that tree a little bit, but
all these players have the 348 feet of power, but when you add the wind, you add the uphill, you add the low ceiling, this hole plays a lot longer. And once you get out there, you're definitely having to put some stank on it.
Ben's got a really solid look at his birdie here.
Bangarang, dude.
No big deal.
Win big and so good.
He is the most nonchalant 1,000-rated player I've ever seen. He's just go with the flow.
He was carrying a trooper bag.
Oh, Kyle. I wonder if that's just a little bit of first hole.
Could be.
Maybe not warmed up enough yet or something.
Yeah. He'll clean up for sure. He'll be all right. Eric out of nowhere.
There's Eric, yep.
Yeah, Ben was carrying a trooper bag that I think had like a Ballista Pro and then like 5 other discs. And he's just like, I'm going to go out and tread.
And that's exactly what he does.
It's good to see. It's good to see players that, there's all the different styles. And we're going to see some good styles on this card.
Kyle not too happy with the bogey there. That's one that I feel like if you have a really good drive like Ben, you can get your birdie, but you really want to get out of there with no worse than a 3.
Absolutely.
So Eric still has the 1-stroke lead over Jake with the bogey. Kyle and Ben are actually going to flip spots. So Kyle is now tied with Robert. And moving on to hole 3, it is 333 feet, plays a little bit downhill and then back uphill towards the basket with a little bit of a left finish. And there is kind of a low ceiling, almost invisible tree.
Yep, it is real. And this is one of those shots that, like, you can throw any number of discs, but you just need something that has a stable finish, that's coming in with some speed, and checks up on this hill.
That's looking really nice from Eric.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's played here once or twice before, I think.
Yeah.
Just a couple times.
A handful of times.
Yeah, I like to go with a more high-speed kind of a defender or enforcer just to get a little bit of that skip around the corner at the end. But I feel like some sort of a felon or some sort of a little bit slower kind of neutral, straight fairway driver would work really well too.
Absolutely. I went for the felon, but I did not get this hole at all. And then immediately practiced it after the round and was super parked 1,000 times. Oh, dead.
There, yeah, that's that invisible tree. It looks like you're past it. You can barely see it, and then it just smacks you down.
Oh, man. Talk about getting down
A
on
little
it.
bit.
That leaf.
Just trying to get in Kyle's head.
Leave him alone.
Kyle, I believe that's a Biofusion Enforcer as well.
Those guys are actually going to be in a good spot. I mean, you're not too far. You're a circle 25-footer type of putt, so that's definitely what you're looking for. Robert, easy 3.
Just up and down. That's all you can do from there.
Oh. Ben Wiggins.
He's just out here having fun, man. Like, everybody else came to play a tournament. Ben just came to play disc golf. Hey, guys. Don't mind me.
No.
Oh.
See, he's still having fun.
Shoot.
He was dancing.
Yeah, he's trying to play as much golf as possible and still win. Kyle looks like he kicked out of that bush. Oh, just enough to get a straddle, but
That looked like a better line, so I think he's going to be pretty happy with that he's making the correction. He'll be able to dial in on the next couple holes.
yeah. Unless you're Johnny McRae, I feel like you never want to see a turbo putt during a tournament. That is just...
I've been practicing the Matt Oram for those types of putts. It's like coming up to my chest. Obviously, that bush
Sure.
is pretty tall. Nice
Great
birdie,
from Eric.
He's good.
That's a really good hole to get. I feel like it's not going to be a stroke on the field, but it's going to be a stroke on the majority of the field.
You know, now that I'm seeing this, whenever I didn't birdie it the second round, I thought I lost. I thought I lost an entire stroke to everybody on lead card.
That's a tough one to get.
But yeah,
That's
and
definitely a tough hole.
that's how golf can be. You're talking the conditions were actually pretty cold today, and leading up to this, it was super warm.
Yeah.
I was wearing shorts on Thursday.
Yeah.
On Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and then Saturday and Sunday were
Yeah.
35, 40 degrees. Now, hole 4, this
This
hole
is-
is amazing.
Yeah, this is in the short position. I believe it's 365 feet. It's really straight. There is a Mando way off to the right.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to really pull your drive to flirt with that. Normally there is a longer par 4 where the Mando kind of comes into play a little bit, but it's mostly just to keep people on hole 5's tee pad safe.
That was a good decision, and I think for flow reasons, not playing the par. Oh man,
Wow.
there you go, dude.
What a kick.
And for flow reasons, not playing the par 4 in this type of tournament where you have a shotgun start, it definitely helps the flow.
And there is a path from hole 17 to hole 18 right through the fairway. Jake kind of stabled out a little bit into those trees there. It is, depending on where you come up in those trees, it can be nasty or it can be totally fine.
Yeah.
You can just have a little sidearm pitch out, and he's got a really nice sidearm, so hopefully he'll be able to get up and down from there. Robert, I believe that's his SE Explorer, wanting some finish and getting absolutely none.
Those bushes aren't fun. You can if you penetrate into those, you're blocked by the basket. Like you can't see it, and you're having to just pitch up, and you don't want to be looking at something and not know where you have to throw it.
And Kyle, I believe that's his Pine, which was the Trilogy Challenge disc last year, kind of similar to like a Verdict.
Yeah.
Just a straight to overstable mid.
Is that
And
good?
That I 100% have to apologize to Eric on that one. I thought Robert was out, so I went over and I was standing next to Robert, and I turn and look, and Eric is about halfway through his putt, and of course that goes in.
He
So
jams it.
my apologies, Eric. But yes, I did go in. Huge birdie putt.
And this is not what you want to see, where you want to end up. But Jake gives himself a look. That's all you can really do is say, hey, how can I take, the least amount of strokes here?
Yeah.
Give myself an opportunity to make a putt. It's the same thing for Robert here. All he
Yeah.
needs to do is just give himself a look.
This is just like you were saying. I mean, he was asking the card about his footing, if he was good, if he was not, because it took him a while to kind of get in there, find the disc, be able to get in there and get a good legal stance, and just try and get up and down.
See, this is where it's so important to just practice weird throws, and I think playing catch is one of the biggest things you can do, and that's a tough.
If he had just missed that tree, he would have been right there. He's still got a putt. Robert's a really good putter. So hopefully he'll be able to knock that down. Kyle's got kind of a straight headwind, a little downhill. Probably close to circle's edge, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
knew it.
wow.
He knew it. And that's
He
not
knew
what
it.
you want. But
That was not what I was expecting.
He's doing the right thing by he knows he has to start pushing and making strokes. It's early in the round, but still, you want these. That's a
Good
putt
par
from
save
Robert.
for Robert there. From that drive into those bushes to just come out of there with your par, you got to be happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Jake got that same downhill. Looks like the wind died.
Great
Nice. Right over the cage. Perfect putt from Jake. Oh, wow. This is not what you're looking for your par putt on this hole. This is not. Oh, man. Kyle struggling to get the putter going a little bit round 2.
Yeah. Nice birdie.
Not so much for Ben.
Ben, he's all right.
He's pretty good.
But, there's a lot of holes left, and you can see that, Kyle's a top golfer.
Yeah.
No matter where you are, you may have seen his name quite a bit. He will, I guarantee he's going to bounce back and do some really good things the rest of this round.
Unfortunate
I
bogey,
wasn't-
but
Yeah.
that's a good putt to make. Kind of keep your confidence up a little bit. So Kyle and Ben with the birdies. Now Eric and Ben with the birdies. Eric opens up a 3-stroke lead now going into hole 5. 395 feet. Just throw straight through a tunnel. This is definitely the most technical shot you're going to see all day. This creek along the right side is all OB. Eric thought he was in it and somehow managed to stay safe.
Hey, when you know the angles out here, you can find that love. This hole is you're teeing from out of bounds, and it can be so like it can get in your head really quick, and it's not you don't play it where you're last foot in bounds, or even if you were in bounds and then squeak out, you go to that drop zone. You see that tee pad off to the left, you're going right there, which is a pretty routine sidearm if you have it, but you definitely don't want to have to be throwing 3 from there.
Wow.
That's a great shot from Jake.
Look at that.
And usually
Little
he's
straight skip too.
Yeah, he's known for his sidearm a little bit more, but you can tell he's been working his backhand,
That's a really
and
nice shot.
adding that facet to his game.
And I feel like the shot from Ben is kind of the more typical. Throw something a little more overstable, just get it through the trees, out into the left in the open. Looks like that's what Robert was trying to do too, but just went a little low. Rather than that up the gut is really tempting because it's just right there. You can see the basket. Robert not stoked on that one, but
Yeah,
he's inbounds. Good
Take-
position.
taking the love. That's good.
He'll be fine, yep. Kyle looks like he's going up the gut too.
That's a great shot from Kyle.
Right there next to Jake. Those are 2 of the better drives you're going to see on this hole.
Mm-hmm. It's really tough because you don't want to be throwing that high speed disc, but if you want to be aggressive, you need to. And talking about a tunnel to hit, that's not the easiest thing to do. Trying to go for 2 for 2.
Yeah, this hole, it's all of 400 feet, kind of a low ceiling. So if you want to get there, you've either got to throw a fairway driver as hard as anyone has ever thrown a fairway driver, or you have to go with a high speed.
It's definitely a solid professional hole is what I would call it.
And this one, those 2 trees closer to the basket, it doesn't really look like it from this angle, but they are directly in Robert's way. So he wanted that one, but I don't think you can be upset with not making that. That would be an extra stroke.
Absolutely. You just had to be John Stockton and lay it up. So he ain't dunking it.
I think that's a compliment.
No, of course.
Kyle from definitely outside the circle.
Boom.
Oh, no big deal.
See
Jeez.
that's the pro move. And God, it looks clean out of his hand.
Wow.
But
Remember
you
when
can
he
tell-
couldn't get the putter going last hole
yeah,
and just
and
Oh,
he never
outside the
lost
circle.
confidence. Like
Wow.
that's something that you don't see from most players. Is he trusted that he was going to make every putt no matter what. Jake can't follow up.
similar spot, just a little low right. Looks like everyone else is just going to be tapping in their pars.
Does that get in your head at all? Whenever you see somebody when you have a similar lie
Oh, I'm
and they jam it
sure.
from like 3 or 4 feet
I'm
behind you,
sure it does.
and you're like, Man, I'm going to look like a jabroni if I don't smash
I
this.
gotta at least get it close, man. I can't just lay this up now. So yeah, Robert dropping in his par. And Ben just casual round, no big deal.
Hey, guys.
Easy.
Do you guys want to play disc golf? I do.
All right, so Kyle with the only birdie. That one's probably a stroke on the field.
Absolutely.
That is not a gimme hole. So Eric still has the 3-stroke lead. Kyle is in third place, only one back of Jake. Moving on to hole 6 now. This does have a Mando to the left, and it is another, I mean, this is probably the second most technical shot. It's just a little bit shorter. Low ceiling, kind of a straight right finish. And
oh, that's a good kick to get out to the left side. It gets a little more
Yeah.
open over there. This is a really interesting shot because whenever I walked up to this, I wanted to throw a sidearm, but it's uphill, low ceiling, so it's really, really difficult to do. So I think it's more of a backhand, and Eric just clips that low ceiling.
yeah, he liked the line, but it was just too high.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, I believe this was an Explorer. Getting a little flip out of it. Sliding up there. He's past the trees. That's off the tee on this hole. That's really all you can ask for.
Yeah, he's not going to be unhappy with that. This is a hole that if you take a 3 on, you
Yeah.
smile and walk away.
Mm-hmm. I believe that was an EMAC Truth. A little too much flip and a big old kick.
Get him out in the field. Let's see if Robert.
Looks like he's lining up the roller here.
I like that.
I believe that's Fusion Renegade.
Mm-hmm.
I like the play if you're going for the 2. Oh, it needs to hook.
It's fighting out.
That's in the
Yeah.
open. That's not going to give him a great look for his 2, but he's not going to 4 it from there either.
Yeah, he shouldn't.
Guy with a real awkward kneeling sidearm.
It's tough. There was a lot more low ceiling than you thought.
Mm-hmm.
And these, what trees are these? Pines, cedars, whatever. They're
Big.
big.
Big and annoying.
They grab. they sit stuff down. You're not getting past them. Just put it that way.
These are not trees you want to mess with.
Nah,
Just go ahead and get through and get out.
that's a good play from Kyle.
Yep. I think that's a harp.
Might be.
If I heard right, I should say. I believe that's a VIP harp.
Nice.
Now, Robert, you can kind of see a branch there that used to be a full branch. They kind of trimmed it, but left just enough right in front of the basket.
Mm-hmm.
Robert said he thought that was in, but that would have been a huge putt.
That
if
would've
that
been
went in through the
awesome.
tree from that far. And Ben, again, directly behind the tree. He couldn't see the basket at all. Just trying to straddle out a little bit, see some sort of metal or something. Just off the tree, but that's all right.
Yeah. He's putting for his 3.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what you want. It's a good cleanup from Kyle, especially from the misfire on the off the tee.
Yeah.
Definitely, bogey was the best. Was one of the better scores he could get there, and he did his job.
I feel like this is one where, what do you do when you walk up to it? Are you looking to 2 it every time, or are you just looking to?
I'm looking to give myself an opportunity to not take a big number. You know,
Okay.
just I threw the roller both rounds, and I went 2-3 on it, which was nice. But if you get the roller out and it goes through the gap, like Roberts went to the right of the gap and cut through and hit a bunch of stuff. If you can get it through that gap, you're in business.
Yeah.
And I ended up way out in this field, almost playing to the amphitheater, which was a bummer. But that's the risk I took.
It's
but
open.
The easiest 3 in the world. I was stoked about it.
I've seen people too will take something super overstable and kind of like anti-flex it right around the Mando, because that's if you
Robert
hit
just
it-
got iced. I think that was our card on the amphitheater. Somebody just smacked the stairs. Nice.
Holds his composure, no big deal. All right, Kyle with the lone bogey, pars for everyone else. He's kind of falling back, one behind Robert now, but Eric still holding that 3-stroke lead, just keeping things nice and smooth. Hole
Eric golf.
7, hole 7 plays 332 feet over a valley. It's pretty much a wide open hyzer for these guys. There are some trees around near the basket you can see, but if you throw a good hyzer line, you're gonna get up to those trees and have a decent putt.
That's a good look from Eric.
Mhm.
The trees on the right they're completely there, man. They are so easy to find. I caught it in my round 1, and I thought the line was money.
Mhm.
And it just caught the trees and sat down. I was like, cool, I got a 45-footer.
Yeah.
Sweet.
A little bit uphill. If you miss just a little bit long, you're going to go into those trees, and they're going to smack you straight down.
Mm-hmm. It's about having a good, like, that's some great
I like
ground
that play.
action.
Just kind of go a little bit, miss a little bit short on purpose, get a little skip, some roll, get yourself up there, leave yourself a nice short putt. Robert with that same enforcer, I think you said it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's tracking the trees. Oh, wow. Oh, no. Wow.
Robert and I talked about this. He had never gone long of this basket.
Yeah.
Like, he'd always been short and putting, and then he decides to throw it long in the water.
In the water. Way long.
God, that's such a bummer.
I wonder if Kyle saw that and switched, because that was his pine again.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wonder if he saw that and just went a little bit slower and just said, hey,
I want to putt.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just throws pines 333 feet on a hyzer, no big deal.
Yeah. Because he's pretty good.
And, just inside, hit the tree. Yeah, there's Robert's disc. You can see just how close it was. Just a couple feet.
And now some people might get mad about the whole line being all the way up.
I
And
like it better.
It's a definitive
Yep,
line. There are a lot of
exactly.
leaves. There are a lot of things that might
Yep.
cause that disc to be in to some people and out to others. And
Mhm.
and you take the whole thought processing out of our
Oh,
hand.
wow.
That looked good.
That looked good out of his hand, and then I don't know if it just kind of flattened out or caught some wind, but
I just cruised.
yeah.
But if your tournament has a
birdie.
definitive line, be happy. Don't
Yeah.
complain about where you ended up. It sucks if you're OB, but you know that you're in and you
Mhm.
know that you're out.
Eric's gymnastics background coming in handy here.
Getting that.
Got to do some serious stretching.
Those you don't want, but
That's no. It's
It's
nice to have
really
a putt,
tough. Yeah.
but that is an awkward stance.
and he's got a little bit of a breeze in his face, which those suck.
Mhm. So this is Robert for a 4. Wow, that's very un-Robert-like.
Yeah,
Very unlike him. He's usually super solid inside the circle.
but that type of thing can rattle anybody.
Yeah.
He threw a good line and found out of bounds.
Mhm.
Threw another good line
Yeah.
and thought he made the turnover putt, and
Yep.
then puts himself to 25 feet because of he didn't deserve it
Yeah.
by any means, and then throws a good putt center. It gets a little push from the wind left, and then it's out of the basket, and you're thinking, wait, what?
Yeah. So birdies for Jake and Kyle. The unfortunate double bogey for Robert. Moving on to hole 7A. This is a temporary hole, the amphitheater hole.
Yeah.
254 feet downhill into the island. It's not a hard shot, but I feel like once you step up there, you think, oh, it's an easy shot. I got this. And that's what makes it hard.
Mm-hmm. It's the way I was talking about it it's a weird distance
Mm-hmm.
for most professional players to have to throw, because we don't play in most cases we don't play a lot of holes like this. Oh, come on, get in
That's
it.
looking good.
Good shot, Eric. That's a Trilogy Challenge shield that he has been
Yep.
throwing amazingly.
Yeah.
It's just it's a very awkward distance that tests your ability as a disc golfer to be able to throw under control.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want, you can take the aggressive routes on the sidearm or the backhand hyzer and throw it hard and spike it in. But man, if you're off in that direction, bad news.
Look at how thin the island is there.
Mhm. These players made it look easy.
Oh, yeah. That's what happens when you're lead card in the MPO field. Just these kind of holes are simple for you.
Yep.
Kyle went a little bit long, but obviously he's still inbounds. Got a nice birdie putt.
Bang, bang.
Nice and easy.
Now this basket is awesome. God.
The red, white, and blue.
Can we
It looks so
appreciate the
good.
basket?
That does look good.
America.
America. Jake from a little bit closer. He's probably 20. Oh, high, but it sticks.
Looking like a star frame here. That's
Yeah.
a good recovery from for Robert and Eric for missing the last hole and everything. You know, they definitely wanted to go birdie birdie, but you know, you take what you get, and you roll with the punches and say, hey, you got this one. Let's go to the next hole.
Plenty of golf left.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben with the CTP there.
Dope. Did he win something?
No.
He won our respect.
So there it is, the first star frame. Hopefully we can get a few more of those going. Birdies for everybody. Eric still with that 2-stroke lead. Now moving on to the Monkey Island hole. Hole 8, 350 feet. Again, playing into an island. It says 350, but I feel like it plays shorter.
It does. I think so, because if the hole that Robert took the double on is 330, this seems no longer, like, it doesn't, it's not longer than that.
Yeah, they were throwing drivers on that, and Kyle right now is throwing a shield.
Yeah, and I think Jake threw a harp, and he made it look real good.
Right.
That's a good throw.
Wow.
These guys, those both are great throws. They're going to be putting for 2, exactly what you want.
And it's blind. You can kind of see the flag moving above the bushes, but from the tee, you can't see that. So you have to know where the basket is to hit your line. I believe that's an EMAC Truth from Eric.
Or an Explorer.
For some fade. Whoa.
So the play on this one, you can throw those putters, you can throw the mid, but you can definitely throw fairways. I saw some good stuff, because that wall is very kind, as we just saw, but you just play for that shot.
You don't want to hit the wall, but it's nice to have it there as a backboard.
And you want the 2 here, but 3s are great.
Yeah.
3s are always good.
Like you were talking about, there's Robert throwing a fairway. That's the Explorer. And I feel like that's the problem with going with a driver. It's got that sharper wing. You're just tempting it to get a little more skip.
Yep. And you're having to commit to throwing the disc hard, because you can't baby it, because those discs are going to fade, and the wind is right to left. That was a good bait.
Great run. Yeah, it is a right to left. It is an island, and left of the island is water. So if you go in there, there's a chance you're not going to get that disc back and the stroke penalty.
Good hit from Eric.
Really nice putt.
I try and putt like him.
Me too.
Because he's good.
He's real good. Robert just inside the wall here.
Has a tailwind. What?
Eh.
So he said
Robert can't believe that.
He said it lifted, and you can see the flag moving from his back to the front. So it's.
And these are brand new flags too. They put them in like the day before.
And you have to trust what you feel, and it's just a bummer to see like, we'll call that a push out, and it was high left, so it could have, but if if the wind acts as normal, he's in better shape. So I feel for Robert, because I have done that countless times. And I'm like, I do the exact same thing. I look around, I'm like, I don't know what happened.
So the unfortunate bogey there for Robert without even going OB.
Yeah.
Birdies for Eric, Jake, and Kyle.
Good birdies.
Moving on to hole 9. This is, for me, it's the most difficult hole on this course, because I never know what to throw.
Yeah.
There's a straight shot, there's a sidearm, there's a big hyzer line, there's a bunch of different options, but I just don't love any of them. None of them seem easy.
Yeah. I actually I like this a lot more when it was the par 4, but I understand that we played for GBO a few years ago. I thought it required to throw a good shot. Oh, in that bush right by the basket. He'll be putting for 2. But it's testing your ability to have a good shot selection. Where I like the sidearm play, but found some trouble. There's this hyzer play that Ben executes. He executed it in round 1 and executes it now. That's pretty good.
I've tried that hyzer line. It is not as easy as he just made that look.
You have to saw it off, but you're throwing it over OB and you're throwing it next to trees. You didn't. The whole thought of sawing off a sidearm at trees
over OB
is terrifying. And
Eric was not happy with that. Out of his hand, I think he called himself like peanut butter and fluff or something like that, because he just fluffed the shot.
Genius. God,
it was awesome. Really funny.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things in the way on this hole.
Oh wow, that just dropped.
Eric to clean up his 3.
Yep. Right around circle's edge.
Dude, no
That
way.
is the most perfectly timed. Yeah, like Peter Pan. So for those of you who haven't played, it's relatively close to a train yard. And, good run from Robert. There had been trains going off and on all day.
They got me.
And that one was
Perfect.
perfectly timed. It was like that guy was sitting in the street.
Wiggins and that roll. Stop.
It's not even hilly.
No.
That was just a perfect angle.
Come on,
But yeah,
dude.
that train went perfectly for Eric's putt. Just nothing you can do about that. Really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Ben for his long comeback par.
Oh, stay in. Come on, basket. Do your thing.
Kyle was getting swallowed up by this bush.
So, highlight of my first round, I was a little farther back than Kyle, and I threw a horseshoe putt for 2 on this one.
Dang.
That was cool. I had to brag. I'm sorry.
Just got to let people
I
know.
did something good this tournament.
There you go. The other 35 holes were just regular
Nope.
golf.
Nope. I didn't do anything. I
This
didn't
one.
play the other 35 holes.
There's no.
No
Kyle.
twos here on lead. Wow. Eric
with
getting in before the horn.
The really unfortunate bogey. Yeah.
That's, I mean,
That's when
you
you just
expect
kinda
us
have
to
to
be
s-
professional and play in the elements, but it's a loud enough sound
Oh yeah,
that
it's
that
close.
it rattles. It can rattle a world champion.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, like, if you want to say it's like
Yeah.
everybody has to play in it, like, but not everybody has to putt right when the horn goes off.
Yeah.
So
That's just one of those wrong place, wrong time. Super unfortunate for Eric. Bogeys for Ben and Eric, and I believe pars for everyone else. So Eric now only has the 1-stroke lead over Jake, still 3 strokes ahead of Kyle and Ben, and Robert just, it's not his round today.
Nah.
It's not his round today. Moving on to hole 10. This is actually a new position. They changed it like a week before. 256 feet, kind of a hyzer over the island there.
OB the whole way.
Jake with the
Get
harp.
in.
Oh, what's up, guys?
Seems good.
You know, I'm just going to take the lead here real quick.
Yep.
No pressure or anything now, Eric, but you got to match that.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely a big momentum swing
That's a
off
huge
the
shot.
band. I mean, we've seen so
Just-
many of the times that hits the band and just
Yep.
flops out. And I don't think that was going OB left or anything. But I mean, he was gonna have a tester putt, so he's
Yeah.
also pretty stoked that basket's there. But in is in.
That is safe. The island there is the OB, so Kyle is safe, but he's going to have that tree to contest with.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this one, for the open field, this is a got-to-get birdie. There's a couple out here. I feel like this is one that you have to do that.
It is, and that's a great shot from Robert.
Eric with that same shield.
That's a good throw too. Yep.
Yep. That's exactly what you're looking for. Just split the trees, get a little finish left.
So
And
there's
going
also good. Don't do it.
That is the danger with that tree right
Mhm.
there.
So it's really actually very tight because the sidewalk to the right is actually and beyond is out of bounds, and I think that's a good play because it makes this hole very, very challenging. And there was a skip shot that we had practiced in the day before,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually really, really liked it, but never threw it in the tournament, and I don't know why. But I did.
It's-
I did clean this one up. So it was,
Yeah.
but it's just too easy of a hey, I got a stable putter, an
Mhm.
overstable putter, and I'm just gonna throw it in that right gap
Yep.
and let it do its thing.
Wow. That would have been a huge par save.
And taking a park job and
Nice.
losing a stroke.
Easy. Yeah, right?
Sweet.
Gosh. Yeah, you walk into a hole, park it, and still lose the lead.
Yep.
Now you're tied.
Yep.
Golly.
That's hey. It's aces can do some great things for people, and they can actually ruin some people too. So we'll see how Jake counters this and see what he can do. That's a big play.
So Jake and Eric kind of stretching their lead. It's kind of becoming a 2-horse race.
Yeah.
Both of them moving to 12 down. Kyle in second place at 8 down. And that is it for part 1. We're going to move on to part 2 for the final 10 holes. We'll see everybody there.
Yeah. Have fun. We'll see you soon.